The first thing that comes to one's mind when thinking about Egypt is the pyramids, and more specifically, the pyramids at Giza. The Great Pyramid at Giza is one of the marvels of the ancient world. It originally stood at 481 feet high. Its base rests on an area that covers 13.1 acres and incorporates 3.4 million cubic yards of material. That is 2/3 the size of the Hoover Dam. The pyramids at Giza were constructed in the Old Kingdom period between 2575 BC and 2150 BC. These breathtaking structures have some speculation to how and why they were built, making them a very intriguing topic to explore. The Egyptians built tombs to protect the pharaoh's soul that remained with his corpse after his passing. Before pyramids, massive tombs were carved into the bedrock and topped with flat roof structures called mastabas. The flat roof then allowed mounds of dirt to top these structures. The pyramid shape could have come from the shape of these tombs with the mound of dirt on top. Another thought is that the Egyptians modeled the pyramids after the sacred Behrend stone. The Behrend stone symbolizes the rays of the sun. This was important to the ancient Egyptians because they believed that the pharaohs reached the heavens through the sunbeams. Without limestone, the construction of the pyramids may have been impossible. Limestone is a sedimentary rock, meaning that the rock is formed by sediment on the Earth's surface or underwater. The rock consists of calcite and is light to moderate gray in color. This light to moderate gray color is no longer visible in the pyramids today because of weathering. The weathering has caused the pyramids to be a pinkish or yellow color. There are several reasons why limestone was chosen for the construction of the pyramids. The two main reasons were that limestone was easily accessible because it is so prevalent around the region, and because limestone is a soft stone and is easy to break and shape. The quarrying began concurrently with the start of the site preparation for the pyramids. It is assumed that materials to build the pyramids were taken from local sources. This would minimize the transportation of large blocks. Archaeological evidence supports the fact that there were one or more quarries on site. Smaller blocks between 2.5 to 6 tons make up the majority of the blocks used in the construction of the pyramids. Stones were also imported from quarries across the Nile, such as Tura. These stones were moved by boats and then finished when they reached Giza. The blocks were broken in the quarries using a method developed by Egyptian workmen. The development used the technique of drilling holes into the rock by hand and then inserting wedges to the holes. The wedges were then pounded with mallets until the rock cracked and the slab broke loose. These slabs were then dressed down to reach the final dimensions. The tools used to shape the stone to its final dimensions included copper and bronze saws. These tools helped them make tightly fitting joints. The idea of how they made the joints so tightly fitting is a perplexing one. The obvious method is to move the stones together to see how they fit and continually make adjustments and then try again. This method seems impractical considering the weight of the stone. The Greeks had a similar problem when doing polygonal masonry. we are given a clue of how they overcame this problem through Aristotle, who wrote, "The strips used in Lisbon construction, for the strip is bent to fit the shape of the stone and does not remain unchanged." Evidently, the lead was fitted and shaped to fit the stone, and then the other stone was shaped to fit the other side of the lead. Lead was not extensively used in Egypt. However, this method could have been used with another metal, such as copper. The strips would have been very thin and reused. The metal would be ill-preserved and could be overlooked in excavations. It does not seem possible that this method could have been used with any other material besides a metal. None of the shaping and breaking discussed could have been possible without the sandy properties that limestone possesses. Engineering, mathematics, and science were all disciplines necessary to execute the large construction project of the pyramids. The Egyptians could predict the flooding of the Nile. They could identify major stars and the position of stellar bodies with some accuracy. They could calculate areas and volumes of structures as complex as the pyramids. In addition to having a system of written records, they used many basic tools made of copper, including saws, chisels, hammers, and drills, and they understood the principles of the lever and of the inclined ramp. It is very reasonable that they had possessed the ability and the resources to produce the fantastic structures of the pyramids at Giza. Along with these resources, a vast amount of manpower was also needed to quarry the limestone, move the limestone, and construct the pyramids. Not all builders of the pyramids were war criminals or foreigners. Some of them were just regular Egyptians who were full-time employees of the pharaoh. The number of men would vary due to natural occurrences such as the flooding of the Nile. The floods would cause farmers to have free time, so they would come to work on the pyramids until the land was workable again. There is also some skeletal evidence in some ancient Egyptian women showing wear and tear on their bodies from work in construction. This suggests that women worked on the pyramids too. It is estimated that 20 to 30,000 workers completed the pyramids at Giza in 80 years. The construction of the pyramids is so impressive that some have even started rumors that extraterrestrials have been involved in the construction. The idea that slaves were used in the construction of the pyramids stems from Pharaoh Khufu, who had the largest pyramid constructed for him at Giza. This pyramid was built around 2500 BC and stood 481 feet tall. In this case, according to the Greek historian Herodotus, Khufu enslaved his people to build his pyramid. Graffiti showed, however, that some of the enslaved people still enjoyed their work and they took pride in it. They formed groups and even named the groups, such as the group called Friends of Khufu. The structure completed by the enslaved people incorporates 2.3 million stone blocks, and like the other structures, has blocks with the average weight anywhere between 2.5 to 15 tons each. At the rate the pyramid was completed, a stone must have been put in its final place every 2.5 minutes. It took more than just manual labor, though. Architects achieved the accurate pyramid shape by running ropes from the outer corners up to the planned summit to make sure the stones were being positioned correctly. Priests and astronomers helped to choose the pyramid's site and orientation so that they would be on the appropriate axis in relation to sacred constellations. It is likely that communities across Egypt contributed workers as well as food and other essentials for what became in some ways a national project to display the wealth and control of ancient pharaohs. From the stone pusher to the priest, every worker would have likely recognized his or her role in continuing the life and death cycles of the pharaoh, and thereby perpetuating the glory of Egypt. Although there is uncertainty to how and why the Egyptians built the pyramids, there is certainty that it was done. The pyramids today stand as proof of the skill and determination of the ancient people that built them. We must stand in awe to their project management techniques, as well as their planning techniques and their construction techniques. The completion of this project is truly extraordinary.